Hi, I'm Megan Comfort, Small Business Manager at Nevada State Bank and host of Through the Door, the insider's perspective on running a business. It's a business podcast where we interview business leaders and entrepreneurs and understand what it takes to run a business in the state of Nevada, from best practices to branding to understanding how to tackle challenges and build culture. You will get a lot of inspiration in your own business on how to help it grow. Listen now at nsbank.com/podcasts or anywhere where you listen to podcasts.
Right now, what you should be doing as a young agent is burning holes in the soles of your shoes. What does that mean? Like
Pounding the pavement.
Like literally go get out of your office because there's no business there. Go walk door to door in these business parks that you want those businesses to be your clients. Show up, let them know who you are, and do it so much that you've got holes in the soles of your shoes. You're gonna have to buy new shoes.
Share a little bit more about that beginner's mindset that you talk about with your team and the day one energy.
Day one energy is the key. You got to stay humble. You got to stay ambitious. You got to be excited by things. That's part of what I saw going wrong in the old times. It was like, no, we've been in town 30 years and we know this doesn't work or that doesn't work. And you don't know what's going to work.
You're going to spend a third of your life working, okay? So we really emphasize on, if you're going to spend a third of your life doing something, have the passion for it. You know, if this isn't your thing, it's okay. If you just need to make some money and you're going to help us grow, it's okay. You know, but love what you do.
It really doesn't matter what other viewpoints or opinions can potentially be. If you have the same values, you can really just kind of deconstruct it down to that core, and usually you'll probably be okay.
Well, very much so. Again, when you're looking at a good partnership, if the values, just those values that make you who you are, family values, focus on honesty, ethics, if those don't align, the partnership isn't going to work very long. Mm-hmm. It's going to be about profitability, which is only one part of what a partnership needs for success.
Of the three pieces of our business, prep, planning, and accounting and bookkeeping basically, prep is the biggest, most difficult machine to manage. Mm-hmm. There's too many gears turning at once. I would do so many tax returns for people, and come tax time, I'd say, hey, where's your numbers? And they'd say, I need a little bit. Or they'd send me something that is just horrendous. Or they'd say, why can't you just do it off my bank statements, which is our favorite line.
I love that concept of humanizing things. I think that there is a lot of fear behind people putting themselves out there and looking silly, or, not doing it right, or people making fun of you, or it going terribly wrong.
People want to buy from people that they like, that they see, that they feel is part of the community, and that align with their values. We talk directly to our customers. I use words like very intentionally, like you or me or something, so that I feel like people think that we're having a conversation, or like they know us personally, even though they don't know it's me, Kristen, running the social media. But I still use like, I want you guys to know about this special, thinking like that Tacotarian's a person. And it's very intentional, even though people might not recognize it as intentional.
The work you do, the way you treat people, that carries a lot of weight. And it's, even as a business owner, good help's hard to find. So all those years working with in the plumbing trades, and we built a good, solid relationship with every customer that we had. They knew what they were getting when we signed contracts. There was no BS. It was straightforward. And that follows you. And so it carries through in everything you do, because especially in Vegas, I think your reputation means a lot to people. Mm-hmm. So again, it goes back to being honest, mm-hmm. being upfront, being straightforward with people. That's everything in business relationships.
What is a guiding principle that you have as a business owner that you kind of follow, that you want to share with people listening to this podcast?
Look, I'll make one that's probably equally personal and professional, and that is be where your feet are, right? So often we're thinking about the next thing, or we're not present. Make the moment that you're in the best that you can be. That project is the only one that matters in that day. That conversation, that lunch, that interaction with an employee is the only thing that matters while you're sitting in that room.
I would say see people, right? People need to feel like they're seen and heard. And that's the whole point of providing service one family, one youth, one individual at a time. Sorry, getting a little emotional. But right, because you don't know what that long-lasting effect of having somebody feel seen and heard. And you know, the holiday season is also a really hard time for a lot of people, and it triggers folks. You just don't know what the emotional toll or turmoil that they're experiencing. And so sometimes just feeling heard and seen is enough to sustain them one more day.
We don't look at positions in the restaurant as a hierarchy. We don't look at the ground level of employees being bussers, food runners, and you look at servers, bartenders, management. When a customer is asking a question to an employee, they're asking the first employee they see. They don't know what your position is.
And they don't care.
They don't care, but they want, their needs, solved. So if there is no communication between that employee and the customer, and then from the employee afterwards to management to let us know that happened, that customer will walk away unhappy and most likely, let you know afterwards, whether it's online or through their friends, where the mouth spreads, really fast. And, that's a bad experience at a restaurant.
Did you have like a mentor or someone that kind of taught you along the way to like the trust factor? Like, hey, you have to trust. Like, what happened in your business where you're like, you know what, I have to stop doing everything? Or did an employee tell you? I always love those stories.
I worked for somebody who, he was my former boss, but everybody was scared of him. And he came into Posh Palace and I was like, what are you doing here? Like, am I in trouble? Like, I kind of he's like, I'm picking my dogs up. And I was like, oh, like, what do you think? And he kind of did his little walkthrough, what he did. And he's like, you have a phenomenal business. He said, you need to put up 4 more in Las Vegas and you need to do it now. Otherwise somebody else is going to do it. And when he said that to me, I was like, well, how do I do that? How do I be in 4 places at once? And he said, do you have somebody that you trust that can really run one location? And do you have other people you could teach? And I said, yeah, I do. He's like, well, then you give them a little piece of the pie, or, you pay them higher, and that's how you do it. He's like, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it.
What I have to do as a coach is enter the danger. So if I sense something, I have to say something. If I feel something, if it feels like there's an elephant in the room, or we're dealing with a sacred cow person or topic, something feels off, that's where usually a breakthrough is about to occur. And so I have to read that. I have to interpret that, what's happening in the room, and then just ask a lot of questions.
How did you, create that type of culture, or was that an intentional vibe or feel that you wanted?
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that was a real aha moment for me, that, I had this idea of myself that I was a lone wolf, I can do anything on my own. And what I was actually doing was I was hurting the people around me. I was hurting my team members. I assumed that they were like me, that they also wanted to be lone wolves. And actually, no, they wanted to be part of Mothership because they wanted to be part of the community. Whereas I like to create communities, they wanted to fill the community up.
The silver tsunami. All right, so this is a thing that we are thinking very deeply about at the SBA right now. I mean, it is truly the small business. These are the ones that have been in business. They have incredible contact lists. They do really good work. They're kind of the local guy. It makes me, as a homeowner, you're always like, man, my plumber retired. I'm an electrician. You know how to do everything. This is a disaster. Now I got to go find a new person. So the value of those established businesses, their name recognition, their know-how, their books are all set up. Everything's ready to go. And so I think being able to encourage that acquisition, like you're talking about, and working with the banks is a thing that we're going to be looking into as SBA goes. in a very strong way.
I don't know if there's other cities that can evolve and adapt and change as frequently as Las Vegas has, with just the dynamics and the changing times of what people want to experience.
Vegas is different. It has the entrepreneurial spirit, the can-do attitude. It constantly reinvents itself. And just when outsiders, think we're down and out, comes the next wave. And it's interesting because I think others replicate it. In fact, some of our race components and the activations and the bold things we've done at our events, other F1 races have taken notice, and those global sponsors and partners, and they want to do it the Vegas way.